good how defensive lineman Kane has looked as he's bulked up 6'5", 277 pounds. And what exactly what does that do for the defensive line, just that bulk and having that extra girth up front?
Well, I mean, Keon has a very special skill set. He's very strong at the point of attack. He's very twitchy to be that big. You know, we made that transition from him being an outside linebacker, which when you see his frame at this level and the next level, he most certainly, right, is going to be more of that rush defensive end. Now, we'll still drop those guys from time to time, right? We do different things with them. But at the same time, I think he's been really impressive with just being able to put his hand in the dirt, something that he hasn't really done much, and I think he's taken to that role, and he's learning a ton right now, but you see him taking some steps. I thought he met another guy that made great steps from the spring this summer.
What do you see for the guy outside the year? He came in with Keon and Quay. How was he going to progress this year?
You know, Yanze has really worked to change his body. I think that he's putting good mass on right now. We've got to continue to get him to do those things. You know, athletically, he's very fluid, you know, very smooth out of his hips. I think, you know, he can transition and pass rush really well. He can turn the corner really well. I think at the point of attack, he is getting more and more physical. In fact, he made a really great set the edge of the defense today, and the ball bounced outside, and he ripped off and made a play. Those are the things that I'm looking for him to take that next step from a physicality standpoint. You know, playing that outside linebacker position, sometimes you're really playing a defensive end position. I think he's taken some great steps in that regard.
What is Chuck Morrell running the staff? How's that role change the on-field staff helped him?
Yeah, you know, Chuck Morrell has been awesome. You know, I obviously, through my relationship with Kalen over the years, have always known about Chuck and heard about Chuck, but getting to work with him firsthand, I mean, he is an absolute pro, a brilliant defensive mind, does a tremendous job with those linebackers. He spends a great bit of the time with those guys, and to me, like, it has been great. You know, for me, he's been with Kalen for the last 4 years, and so knowing what to expect, how we do things from a schedule standpoint, you know, he's really kind of been my right hand when it comes to all those things. But very glad that he's on the field, very glad for that rule change, because that's allowed us to do some things where he's able to work with the linebackers, you know, hands-on, and allows me to kind of be able to address some of the needs on a macro level with our defense.
And Coach, staying with the linebacker position, can you just express what you've seen out of players like the Jeremiah Alexanders of the world, their development through 5 practices, and just what they're doing so far?
Jeremiah has taken some great steps forward from the springtime. Been pleased with, he really changed his body, lost about 13, 14 pounds. He looks good right now. He looks lean, and is starting to kind of understand and grasp what we're trying to do defensively. He can make checks and communication. So I think, you know, here's a guy that was playing outside linebacker that's now moving to inside linebacker, and that takes a little bit of time to transition. But I think he's taking steps in the right direction.
Coach, every coach we've had out here has been pretty optimistic, I would say. I wonder if there are ever times out there that are frustrating, or not being specific, I don't mean that.
Yes. The answer would be yes. There's always frustrations, right? There's always hardships. There's always, you know, some of that, hard practice that you have to get through. Even just getting through a practice for our players right now. You know, Dave Ballou, Jeff Allen, those guys do a phenomenal job. They're the best in the country at what they do, but they're, you know, getting into a practice and learning how to practice, you know, going through 28 periods, whatever it may be, those are hard things to go through, right? So you got to push through some of that adversity. Schematically, our guys are learning things, right? This is a new defense, so, you know, they're having to work through those things as well. And, you know, don't get it twisted now. I mean, we had 2 very experienced corners that we just lost, 2 very experienced pass rushers. I mean, you know, I'm excited about some of the things I'm seeing from our guys, but when the lights come on and the ball gets spotted, you got to show up and produce. And so we're doing everything we can right now to put them in those adverse situations to see if they can respond. Doesn't mean that they're always going to do it right the first time, but can they show that they can respond to that adversity is, to me, the indicator of whether we can trust them on the field or not.
From a personality standpoint, how would you differ from Kalen in terms of maybe just your style as a coach?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, from a coaching perspective,
field, like
you know, Kalen, I think probably one of the greatest things about Coach DeBoer is that, you know, it's never too high, it's never too low. You know what I mean? In the midst of chaos or adversity, I've been in those moments. I've been in the foxhole with him, and I've seen how his calming presence, right, just really, you know, transcends to the rest of the football team, right? I would be a little bit more the yin to his yang, you know what I mean? If that from a you know, I'm a little bit more from an energy level standpoint. I'm a yeller out there at practice. I'm gonna demand on a different level, and I think you have to have a great combination. When you think about it from a head coaching perspective, you know, the way you want to build a staff, right, is you don't want all the same person. You don't want yes men. You want people that are complementary to who you are as a head coach, but they also can lean into your vision, and they can accomplish your vision through their personality. And I think that's something that, you know, has come very natural for Kayla and I.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks guys. Roll